Right. So we start out with saying Happy Ganesha Chaturthi. Now, if you're not Hindu or you're not from India, well, that's why we're here to give you a deeper understanding of it. One of the things that my teacher always says is truth is universal. And it's just a matter of understanding each culture and each religion of why they do what they do. And it's interesting that if you've been with us long enough, you realize that we talk about different traditions like Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, and whatever other tradition and culture there are, because truth is universal. Now, the interesting thing is this. What connects all of them is the understanding of energy. Because these different religions and cultures, as they go through their own rituals and traditions, they're actually controlling energy. And that is not very different from Ganesha Chaturthi. A lot of times we think, oh, okay, that's the Indian tradition. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen anybody walk around with an elephant head? So, obviously, it's symbolic. And we'll go to it in more detail because I remember my teacher used to say, could you imagine if you put the head of an elephant on a human body, the vascular system would not be the same, the respiratory system would not be the same, and not to mention the weight transfer, the person would topple over. So let's go deeper into it to understand what exactly is the deeper meaning behind Ganesha. Now, I can't go into all the details, obviously. This is just an introduction so that we can do the meditation. If you want to know more about it, I highly recommend you get this book, Inner Teachings of Hinduism Revealed. Okay, it should be available wherever you are, and we have it here if you want to order it from the bookstore. And let me just start by saying every spiritual tradition has an inner school and an outer school. If you remember, the Lord Jesus said, talking to the apostles, to you are given the keys to the kingdom of heaven, and the ones outside are given parables. Think about it. Even the Lord Buddha has his inner disciple, inner circle. Every spiritual tradition have inner and outer circle. Now, the question is why? It's not to make people special. It's because there are different levels of education and spiritual development. Now, think about this. When all these teachings were being given in ancient times, what is the educational level of people? Most likely 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, people were not educated. So imagine, okay, just the latest one, 2,000 years ago. The Lord Jesus was talking to the people. Could you imagine? Most of them can't read and write. So he has to, put it in a certain way, really dumb it down and give them a bunch of stories. And the ones who are following him, think about it. If you've been following someone long enough, you've been with them long enough, you understand their mannerisms, they have to take the time to talk to you. So that's why they can give you the deeper teachings. Make sense? Same thing with the Lord Buddha. He had thousands of followers. But there's only a few key people that he gives the inner teachings. Make sense? These inner teachings are a combination of energetic techniques, perceptions of the teacher, of the present, the past, present, and the future, and specific rituals that they can do in order to achieve a certain result. So today, for Ganesha Chaturthi, we want to just focus a little bit on why Ganesha is always the first deity that the Hindu tradition invokes as they do their puja. So puja, as you know, is ritual. Now, let me just break it down for you for the ones who are more mental. Go, okay, explain that to me. Because I don't do rituals. Yes, you do. Everybody does. You just don't call it as such. A ritual is a set of steps that we do physically, emotionally, mentally to create a certain result. For example, if you're a Roman Catholic, you call it a Mass. Don't you notice if you go to a Mass, only the epistles, the reading of the gospel and the sermon is different. Everything else, literally from the hymn, not the hymn book, but there's a book that the priest says this, you say that, it's a ritual. Right? You go to graduation. You have whatever singing is going on, the principal says something, somebody says something, and you have the procession of the graduates. What do you call that? It's a ritual. It's a ceremony. Of course, if you've seen Harry Potter, you call that ceremonial magic. So in India, you call it puja or ritual. So these rituals are very, very important because it creates a certain energy that builds upon itself to get a certain result. And I remember my teacher was explaining to me, like, what you call ceremonial magic. Of course, they make a big deal out of this in Hollywood. But in reality, what it is it's a ceremony. So if they want to create the energy of prosperity, they lock themselves in a room, and the room is basically flooding their senses, something connected to prosperity. Maybe a chant is going on. Maybe the smell of a certain incense. The colors they wear, the images they see. And as they go step by step by step, they put their body in a certain alignment. Okay, they're not going to be like this, oh, I'm prosperous, for example. And then they have them visualize something, they have them say something. So all of them are basically steps to get a certain result. Make sense? So that's not very different than a puja. So a puja is the first deity that our Hindu brothers and sisters pray to is Ganesha. But it's interesting, if you ask most Hindus, why Ganesha? The first answer they're going to give you is, that's what we were taught. We're just following. And I can relate to that. Being born in a Chinese body, we grew up with certain rituals. We go to Buddhist temple, we follow feng shui, ask our parents what it is, why it is. They have no clue. Oftentimes they say, don't ask questions, just do it. Make sense? So we'll just give you an overview. Now, for Ganesha, it's something like this. The reason they pray to Ganesha first is to remove obstacles. Okay? It's a cleansing. Now the question is why and how? Most students I ask, hey, why do you pray to Ganesha? What is it? Oh, no, we're told Ganesha. So let's break it down, shall we? Now, by understanding pranic healing, it makes sense. Otherwise, you say, well, how does it remove obstacles? Well, if you get a herd of elephants going your way, you'll get out of the way. Okay, makes sense. That's removing obstacles, right? Let's go deeper. In pranic healing, you'll learn that the basic chakra at the base of your spine has 3 colors. Okay, I'm going to use an image here. I think you guys can see it. I hope you can see it. Let me see. Now, if you're on Instagram, I don't know if I can flip the camera around. I will try. Ooh, it works. Okay, so the basic chakra, which is the base of your spine, has 3 colors: red, orange, and yellow. And I know most of us who've studied chakras, we know it's red. That's only one of many, many colors that's there. All right, but primarily it's red, orange, and yellow. Red it gives your body the ability to warm up. Okay, it's in charge of body heat. I'll turn this around again. Hopefully I can. Whoop. Okay, come back. Okay, it works. All right, so that's red for heating up your body, cooling your body, depending on how much of that red energy goes to the body. Orange, so your body can poop. Otherwise, you sit in the toilet for hours and nothing comes out. It's the orange prana, the lower part of your body, to allow you to excrete your waste products. Simultaneously, when that orange prana is in your body, it allows you to, perspire, which is expelling or forcefully removing waste products also. And yellow is for your bones. That's the color energetic component of your bones is yellow. So that's how you tell initially why is the basic chakra connected to Ganesha. Now, let me show you that image again, the ones who are on Instagram, because, I have to just flip this around. So the basic chakra is oftentimes represented by an elephant. Ooh, Ganesha, elephant, right? So there's the first connection, all right? Now, hold on. I need to do this, make sure it works. Sorry. All right, now. So this orange energy is what we call in pranic healing forceful cleansing, expelling. So if your body has waste products, the body expels it, forcefully cleans it. In fact, when you're perspiring, your body produces a lot of orange inside and pushes the liquids out. When a woman's in her period, the sex chakra produces orange to expel or forcefully push out the energies that the body doesn't need. Make sense? So that's called expelling. And that's one of the secrets we teach in the crystal healing class, where if you wear a certain orange stone in the right hand, in the correct hand, it can help you expel obstructing energies. So when it says removing obstacles, when you chant to Lord Ganesha, if you try to understand the energy, because when you chant the mantra, which we'll do tonight, or you can just listen, doesn't matter, the energy coming out of you is oranges to expel or push away obstructing energies out of your way. Okay? So that's as far as energy is concerned. Now, for additional information, you say, okay, that's great and wonderful. What's I gotta do with the elephant head on the body? All right. This is where you take it deeper. And again, I recommend you take take the opportunity to get the book, or when we teach the class, either online or wherever you are when the class is being taught, make sure you attend it. But here I'll give you a little bit of an idea. So let's do this again. So the basic chakra, okay, let me just expand this for the ones. Okay, so the basic chakra is represented by an elephant. So this elephant, you will notice there are 7 trunks. Okay, when was the last time you saw an elephant with 7 trunks? I haven't. So it's symbolic. So these 7 trunks represent the 7 layers of what is called the Kundalini energy. So this so-called Kundalini energy is oftentimes, you read in books on yoga, it's like snake coming out of your head like a cobra. There's no snake slithering up your spine. Just want to clarify that. Even if you have a surgeon open your back up, there's not going to see a snake in there. Again, it's symbolic. All right? So the basic chakra is symbolized by the coiled serpent, coiled, as in waiting to pounce, right? And then also the elephant. Now, you have a snake with, like, oftentimes 7 heads coming out like a cobra, or the elephant with 7 trunks. These represent the 7 layers of this so-called energy, Kundalini energy. The question is, what is it for? To super simplify it, it's as simple as this. We have 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, right? 5 senses. What do you try to do with all those 5 senses during meditation? You try to calm those down, right? You make the room comfortable, so when you're meditating, your body will not say, hey, it's uncomfortable. You try to do it in such a way the body does not give you any information or data, so you can ignore it. What else? Your sight, your sound, your smell, touch, all of these you're trying to what? Quiet down. You don't want loud noises. You don't want stuff that's stinky coming through. In other words, you want to, as much as possible, mute all these senses. The question is why? Because you want to experience what's beyond those 5 senses. So spiritual energy, intuition, information from your guides, your teachers, from your higher soul are all beyond the 5 senses. Now, our brains are not originally trained for these. But over time, through meditation and prayer, when you practice calmness and stillness, then you get insights. So when you're meditating, you're intentionally trying to calm the 5 senses to register those higher frequencies. Make sense? Now, to accelerate the process, you have a sensitizing agent, something to sensitize your brain. And that substance is called Kundalini energy. Okay, again, you get the book, you read on the internet. Unfortunately, what you read there is anything goes. But this sensitizing agent has several layers. In other words, there's different, different frequencies of it. In other words, when you're new to the spiritual path, a certain type of energy from the base of your spine go to your brain. As you get into the spiritual path longer and longer, a different quality of that energy goes into your brain. And so as more of that goes to your brain in meditation, guess what happens? You start becoming more sensitive. Your brain nervous system become more sensitive to the brilliant light. It's that in the energy world. You go, yeah. And I notice, like, when I meditate, I see flashes of light. I see light. I didn't see it last time. Maybe there was no light last time. No, the light has always been there. It's just like if I have an AM radio, just because I didn't flick the switch, or just because my AM radio is not tuned to FM, doesn't mean there's no FM signals around. Make sense? So our brain nervous system just need to be kind of upgraded a little bit so you can register those higher and higher frequencies. And that's where the Kundalini energy comes in. Make sense? Now, let's put it all together. Since the basic chakra, let me use the image again for the people on Instagram because the ones everywhere else you can see this. So, let's put the whole thing together. This basic chakra is where the Kundalini energy, most of it, not all of it, is located. Which, what does it do? It sensitizes your brain, your nervous system, so you can experience higher frequency. Makes you smarter, makes you intuitive, more spiritually connected. Right? So, when that energy goes up the spine substantially or fully, then those potentials now reach your head. I think you're getting it. So, the elephant head deity is basically a symbol saying that this massive potential has substantially or completely reached the brain. So that person is now enlightened. Make sense? So the word enlightenment, for the ones who are new, most people throw it around. Oh, you're enlightened. What does that mean? I'm aware. So is everybody. So enlightenment means literally the realization that you are a being of light. That's why another term for enlightenment is illumination. Not like somebody shining a torch or a flashlight or a spotlight on you. It's because you have a deeper realization that you are being of light. That this body, emotions, thought are basically your containers or shells. And that realization, that knowingness is beyond the five senses. So when enough of this Kundalini energy goes to your brain, then it symbolizes Ganesha, the enlightened one. Make sense? Then you add to it, or remove our obstacles. Well, because from the basic chakra, you have those three colors, and the color orange has what? Expelling effect. Plus, when you're really, really smart, then whatever obstacles are in front of you, you get to understand it, and you know how to get rid of them. So you move forward. That's it. Clear? So again, if you want to know more about it, get the book, take the class when it's available. But that's the essence behind it. It's not because you're going to start looking here. I've been to a Hindu temple. I don't see anybody with an elephant head yet. Most likely you're not going to find any. All right? So that's why it's very, very important to really understand instead of taking things blindly.